Class 5th, Subject English, Topic The Journey to the Great Oz. Now, before we start with Part 2, let us take a quick recap and see what we studied in Part 1. So, the travelers turn into quite an adventure for the group. First, they come to a large ditch. After contemplating, Lion figures he can jump the length. One by one, Lion carries each member of the party across the ditch. The travelers continue through the dark and gloomy forest, coming to a second ditch, much larger than the first. Scarecrow uses his brain to devise a plan for crossing. He asks the Tin Woodman to chop down a tree, forming a bridge over the gap. As they began to cross, two Kalidas, frightening beasts with the heads of tigers and bodies of bear, starts to chase the group. So, a group of travelers were traveling, and first they came to a very large ditch. So somehow Lion figures out that he can jump over the ditch, and Lion carries each member one by one and take them across the ditch. After that, the travelers continue through the dark and gloomy forest, and then they come upon second ditch, which is much larger than the first ditch. So the Scarecrow uses his brain and think of an idea to cross the ditch and plan for crossing the ditch. And he asks the Tin Woodman to chop down a tree, forming a bridge over the gap. And as they begin to cross, two Kalidas, that are frightening beasts with the head of tigers and bodies of bear, starts chasing the group. Now let us see what happens in Part 2. The woodman set to work at once, and so sharp was his axe that the tree was soon chopped nearly through. Then the lion put his strong front leg against the tree and pushed with all his might, and slowly the big tree tipped and fell with a crash across the ditch, with its top branches on the other side. So, listening to the Scarecrow's suggestion, the Tin Woodman started his work at once, and as he nearly completed the chopping of the tree, the lion placed his front legs against the tree and gave the tree a strong push, due to which the tree crashed and fell upon across the ditch. They had just started to cross this square bridge when a sharp growl made them all look up, and to their horror they saw running towards them two great beasts with bodies like bears and heads like tigers. "They are the Kalidas," said the cowardly lion, beginning to tremble. "Quick!" cried the Scarecrow. "Let us cross over." So, as the travelers started to walk upon the bridge of the tree, just then, to add in their trouble, they all heard loud noises of the beast. When they looked back, they saw two Kalidas running as fast as they could towards them, and seeing them run, the lion started trembling and all the others got scared. Just then, the scarecrow told his friends to quickly cross and go other side of the ditch. So Dorothy went first, holding Toto in her arms. Then Tin Woodman followed, and the Scarecrow came next. The lion, although he was certainly afraid, turned to face the Kalidas. And then he gave a loud and terrible a roar that Dorothy screamed, and the Scarecrow fell over backwards, while even the fiery beasts stopped short and looked at him in surprise. So, one by one, they crossed, and as they were quickly walking, the lion gave a loud roar sound, listening to which Dorothy screamed out of fear, and the scarecrow fell down, and the two Kalidas stopped in their place. But seeing they were bigger than the lion, and remembering that there were two of them and only one of him, the Kalidas again rushed forward, and the lion crossed over the tree and turned to see what they would do next. Without stopping an instant, the fierce beasts also began to cross the tree. And the lion said to Dorothy, so, after a few seconds, the Kalidas realized that they are two of them and big and stronger even than the lion. So, they started to run again towards the travelers. So, in this meantime, all the travelers they managed to go to the other side of the ditch. But when they see Kalidas walking upon the bridge which was created, they got all the more scared and frightened. We are lost, for they will surely tear us to pieces with their sharp claws. But stand close behind me, and I will fight them as long as I am alive. Wait a minute, called the Scarecrow. He had been thinking what was best to be done, and now he asked the woodman to chop away the end of the tree that rested on their side of the ditch. The Tin Woodman began to use his axe at once, and just as the two Kalidas were nearly across, the tree fell with a crash into the gulf, carrying the ugly, snarling brutes with it. Snarling means groveling angrily with the teeth bared. Brutes means savagely violent animals, and both were dashed to pieces on the sharp rocks at the bottom. So, because they knew if Kalidas also came at the other side, then all the travelers, along with the lion, would die, because the dangerous Kalidas will surely tear all into pieces. And in such a problematic condition, the lion said to his friends that I am very afraid of the Kalidas, but I will protect all of you as far as I am alive. I will fight with the Kalidas. So the Scarecrow, who was thinking at that moment how to get out of this problematic situation, and he suggested the Tin Woodman to start chopping the portion of the tree that was lying towards them. Within no time, the Tin Woodman started to chop, and as the Kalidas were near to them, just then the part of the tree got chopped off completely, due to which, along with the tree, even the Kalidas They fell down and were crushed into pieces at the sharp rocks at the bottom. The danger of Kalidas came to an end. Well, said the cowardly lion, drawing a long breath of relief. I see we are going to live a little while longer, and I am glad of it, for it must be a very uncomfortable thing not to be alive. Those creatures frightened me so badly that my heart is beating yet. Ah, said the Tin Woodman sadly, I wish I had a heart to beat. So the lion got a relief and said, we are going to live a little longer. Those creatures had frightened him so badly that his heart was beating. And the Tin Woodman sadly said that wish he had a heart to beat. This adventure made the travelers more anxious than even to get out of the forest, and they walked so fast that Dorothy became tired and had to ride on the lion's back. To their great joy, the trees became thinner the farther they advanced, and in the afternoon they suddenly came upon a broad river flowing swiftly just before them. On the other side of the water, they could see the road of yellow bricks running through a beautiful country with green meadows. Meadows means grasslands, dotted with bright flowers, and all the road bordered with trees hanging full of delicious fruits. They were greatly pleased to see this delightful country before them. So, at the end of this, we notice that these travelers continued their walk, and then they see the forest becomes thinner and thinner with presence of little sunlight around. Further, they also come upon a broad river which they crossed but by creating a raft and traveling upon it. When they come to the other side of the river, they see the road of yellow bricks running through a beautiful country with green grasslands dotted with bright flowers, and all the roads bordered with trees hanging of delicious fruits. They all were greatly pleased, finally, to reach and see the delightful country before them. Answer the following questions. First one is, write in short how the travelers crossed the first ditch. So you have to write in short how the travelers were able to cross the first ditch. Second one is, write how the travelers crossed the second gulf. So you have to write down how the travelers were able to cross the gulf for the second time. Third one is, list the characters in the story and write a few lines about each of them. So you have to list down all the characters from the story and you have to write few lines about each of the character. Fill in the blanks with the correct conjunctions from those given below. If, and, unless, so, because, but. First one is the children were eating bread dash butter. Second one is Meeta was happy dash she was going for a picnic. Third one is please do not change your seats dash I say so. Fourth one is the balloon will burst dash you prick it with a pin. Fifth one is I ran for the school bus dash could not catch it. Sixth one is the little boy was hungry dash he ate the loaf of bread. So these are the sentences and you have to fill the blanks with the correct conjunctions which are given in the bracket. Write words which end with, so you have to write down the words which end with full, ERS, LY and fully. Thank you.